Good morning, my dear students. How are you all? Hope that you all are good. Okay, so let's start today's computer class. Today we will continue chapter 1, parts of a computer. Okay, before starting a new topic, let's revise whatever we have learned in previous classes. Okay, so in previous classes we have already talked about what is computer and what is the use of computer, in which fields we can use computers, and we have learned about functions of computer: input, processing, output, and storage. Okay, and after that we discussed about how does a computer system work. So in this part we have learned that a computer system works on IPO cycle. IPO stands for input, processing, and output cycle. Okay, so whenever a computer system perform any task, the first it takes input, means whatever instructions or data we enter in computer is called input. After that, taking the input from the user, it process on the data and instructions. Okay, and means whatever input you have given, for example, if you have entered any numbers for addition, so that is your input and addition is your instruction. So after getting input from the user, it will process on it, it will calculate the sum of numbers, and at last in output part it will show you the final result after processing. Okay, so this is all about the IPO cycle. I also give you some example, like the example of preparing tea. One more example is given here, like what will you do if you want to make a call to your friend. So first you will dial the number, okay, and then you start talking with your friend. You think that this process is only about dialing a number and just talking to your friend only, but no, if you will understand the process, then first you dial the number, so it works as an input. Okay, and as you dial the number, so sometime you heard the message that this mobile phone number is out of coverage area. So how they are sending you this message? Because they are connecting your mobile with your friend mobile. Okay, and if there is any issue like network or network problem, or in case if your friend's mobile is switched off, so what happens, the processing of connecting your mobile with your friend is the processing part, where the mobile network connect your mobile to your friend. And in case of any barrier, like if your friend's mobile phone is switched off, or if there is any kind of network issue, then it tells you that this mobile phone is out of coverage area or it is switched off, you can call back later. Okay, so that is called the processing part, in which your mobile phone get connected with your friend. And in output is the final result. Final result means if you get connected with your friend, there is no issue with the network, or your friend mobile is in switched on condition, then you start talking with your friend, so it is the final result. Or another way, what can be the output? If your friend's mobile phone is switched off, the output will be that message that you will get, that the mobile you are calling is switched off right now. So that is the final result. Okay, I hope this concept is very much clear to you now. For any doubt, you can ask your queries in live class, or you can call me. Okay, so let's start a new topic of this chapter, which is the main topic, parts of a computer. Okay, so in this section we will learn about different parts of a computer. As you all knows that human body is made up of different body parts, our head, hands, legs, and many body parts are there, which helps us to do many things. In a same way, computer is also a collection of different parts which are assembled together with computer to perform any task. Okay, so a computer has four main parts which help it to performing the IPO cycle. First is the keyboard, okay, and second is monitor, third is CPU, and fourth is mouse. Okay, so let's talk about all these parts one by one. First, let's discuss about the keyboard. As you all can see here is a picture of a keyboard. A keyboard, it is an input device which is used for typing instructions and which is used to type data into a computer system. Okay, a keyboard is the collection of many keys. Basically, a standard keyboard has 104 keys, and all keys have their own functions. Okay, on the basis of their functions, keys are categorized in some groups or categories like typing keys, control keys, function keys, navigation keys, and one numeric keypad. Okay, do you know who has invented the keyboard? Sir Christopher Latham. He has invented the keyboard, and the standard keyboard that we use is called the QWERTY keyboard, because the first 6 letters of the alphabet keys, the yellow highlighted keys, are called the alphabet keys, on which some alphabets are written. All the alphabets are given from A to Z, but they are not given in a sequence. So the first 6 letters of alphabet keys are make the word QWERTY. So that's why this keyboard is called the QWERTY keyboard. Okay, now let's discuss about all these groups of keys. First is typing keys. So typing keys includes alphabet keys, means the keys from A to Z, plus number keys. So number keys, alphabet keys, and some other keys like punctuation mark keys and special symbol keys, including shift, caps lock, space bar, backspace, and tab keys. These all keys are combinedly called the typing keys, which are used for the typing purpose. If you want to type anything in Word or in any application software, if you want to type, so for that purpose we use the typing keys. Okay, although shift and caps lock key, they do not type anything, but with the help of these keys we can use another keys. Okay, so that's why these keys are also included in typing keys. Next is control keys. So control keys are either used alone or in combination with other keys to perform certain action, like control keys, alt keys, Windows logo key, escape key, and some other keys are also there. The keys which are highlighted with yellow color are numeric keys, and the keys highlighted with the red border are control keys. Okay, so control keys you can use alone for some task, and these keys are also used with some other keys like escape key. Escape key is used alone to come back from any window. Sometimes it is also used for closing any window. Okay, and alt key, it is used with combination of other key to perform any task. Windows logo key, it is used to display the program menu. Okay, third category is function keys. Function keys are very special kind of keys. On your keyboard at the top you can see this top row, this one. These all are function keys. Okay, there are 12 function keys in on a keyboard, starting from, don't include this one. Okay, it is escape key. Okay, so starting from F1 to F12, there are 12 function keys on each keyboard, which are used for doing any particular task. Particular means function keys perform any task according to the application. Based on the application means in different application, function keys works differently. Okay, so they are labeled as F1 to F12, and they have different functions in different programs. Like for example, I am telling you the F1 function key. F1 function key, in some application, F1 function key is used to display the help menu, and in some application it is used for opening the settings. Okay, so these keys work in different way in different programs. Fourth group is navigation keys. So navigation keys are used for moving through the document or web page and editing the text. Suppose if you want to move forward or backward in any document, if you want to reach at the top or at the bottom, or if you want to navigate in the document left and right anywhere in your document, so for that purpose we use navigation key. We may need to navigate in a web page also, and if you want to edit at particular point, so for that purpose also we use navigation keys. Some examples of navigation keys are arrow keys, home key, end key, page up key, page down key, delete key and insert key. These all keys are called navigation keys. Last is the numeric keypad. Numeric keypad I am showing you in a keyboard. See, this is numeric keypad. Okay, although we have numeric keys at the top of alphabet keys, these all are numeric keys also, on which numbers are written, but there is a separate numeric keypad is given on some keyboard, not in all types of keyboard, but in some keyboards or on a standard keyboard a different numeric keypad is given, which you can use separately for typing numbers and performing mathematical operations. Okay, for activating the numeric keypad, a numlock key is given on a keyboard, using which you can enable or disable the numeric keypad. If you want to use numeric keypad, so you can click on numlock key and it will be enabled, or if you don't want to use numeric keypad, so you can again press that numlock key, it will be disabled. Okay, now next topic is monitor, about which we will discuss in our next class or video. Okay, so now revise whatever we have learned in today's class. That's all for today. Take care of yourselves. Bye.